Before we begin, let us first listen to the call of a seagull.
The young seagull was alone on his ledge. What is a ledge? A protrusion. Okay, a protrusion on one side of let's say tall thing. So that is the ledge. His two brothers and his sister. So he had only one sister. Two brothers had already flown away the day before. He had been afraid to fly with them. He had been afraid to fly with them somehow. Okay. He had taken a little run forward to the brink of the ledge and attempted to flap his wings. He became afraid. When we are afraid, when we are trying something for the first time, we take a few steps, we run a few steps, willing ourselves to, hoping that the momentum will carry us forward. That's why we do it. Okay. Maybe if you are learning swimming for the first time and you have to go underwater, okay, they say hold your breath underwater. Instead of just going, submerging yourself underwater, what you will end up doing is going up first, taking a deep breath and plunging yourself down. Otherwise, you will not have the willpower to just go and submerge yourself. This happens when people don't know how to swim. So he is doing something of a similar sort. The great expanse, okay, and then he attempted to flap his wings when he was at the brink of the ledge. The word brink means edge. So he was at the very edge, and there he put the brakes on. The great expanse of sea stretched down beneath, and it was such a long way down, miles down. Seagulls built their nests in very, very high places. He became afraid. He felt certain that his wings would never support him, so he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he slept at night. Now, this is ever since he was born, he would be here. Even when each of his brothers and his little sister, whose wings were incidentally far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped their wings, and flew away. They had more courage, and they did it. He failed to muster up courage, gather courage, and to take that plunge which appeared to him so desperate. Sometimes when you're trying something new, you need to take a leap of faith. You don't know whether you'll be successful or whether you will fall, but you need to take that leap of faith and hope that things are going to fall into place. His father and mother had come around calling to him shrilly. See the use of the word? Upbraiding him, upbraiding meaning scolding him, threatening to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. Very like our parents, right? All of humankind's parents. Okay? Because while we are talking about seagulls, we are actually talking about human beings. Okay? This lesson is there in your syllabus as a lesson for you. Not so that you can get marks in literature only, but also so that you can learn that throughout your life, at every step of the way, you will be learning something different, something new. And when you want to, or when you have to learn something new, that thing is going to be daunting. That task of learning something from scratch is going to be daunting. It's going to make you scared. But you will have to forget about the fear and you will have to take the plunge. Sooner or later, you're going to learn it. That was 24 hours ago. 24 hours ago, they had said that we are not going to feed you. We are not going to bring food to you. And now he is really, really hungry. For 24 hours, he's not eaten. Since then, nobody had come near him. The day before, all day long, he had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sister, perfecting them in the art of flight, teaching them how to skim the waves. Skim meaning just touching the surface of the waves. Okay? Skim the waves, and how to dive for fish. He had in fact seen his older brother catch his first herring. Herring is a particular kind of fish. We are going to look at what is the use of looking at raw herring. First, we will look at a picture of cooked herring, okay? Like fried herring, like something like this. Oh, fried herring with lemon wedges. Imagine. And now we can look at what a raw herring looks like a live herring or something like that before it is cooked. So this is herring. It's a kind of fish. Now, he had in fact seen his older brother catch his first herring and devour it. Okay, standing on a rock while his parents circled around, raising a proud cackle. This word is also high pitched. Okay. Now the thing about this is, it's not just that the fact that he is hungry, okay, maddeningly hungry, but he is also jealous that his brothers and sister, they are getting all the praise, all the attention, and it seems like his parents have completely forgotten about him. And you know how much that hurts, right? And all the morning, the whole family had walked about on the big plateau midway down the opposite cliff, taunting him with his cowardice. Okay? They're like, oh, you are a big coward. You can never do anything. You are so afraid. You're a pretty cat. Okay? Taunting him, teasing him. The sun was now ascending the sky, blazing on his ledge that faced the south. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall. If you have a full stomach, you can tolerate a lot of hardships. If you are on an empty stomach, everything seems harsher, everything seems more horrible. He stepped slowly out to the brink of the ledge and standing on one leg with the other leg hidden under his wing, he closed one eye, then the other, and pretended to be falling asleep. So he was like, oh my god, আর পারছি না, আমি ওদের মরেই গেলাম. Okay, just ঝিমিয়ে পড়লাম. He was pretending that this was happening. Now, look carefully how well the narrator describes the thing standing on one leg. Did you know this? That a bird cannot sleep on two legs? They will have to lift one leg up. He closed one eye, and this is exactly what birds do. They kind of shut one eye, then shut the other one, and then pretended to fall asleep. Still, they took no notice of it. He saw his two brothers and his sister lying on the plateau, dozing with their heads sunk into their necks. This is again a thing that birds do. They will, their heads, it's as if you get the feeling they have no neck. And then when they're awake and they're ready to go off, they will stretch their neck out far. His father was preening the feathers on his white back. What is preening? Cleaning the feathers with his beak. That is preening. This eagle is preening its feathers. The beak and the tongue comes in handy. The feathers are cleaned, ready for flight. Okay? Birds like to keep their feathers in tip-top condition. Okay? Now, let's get back. Only his mother was looking at him. She was standing on a little high hump on the plateau, meaning something that protrudes upwards, like the humps of a camel or the humps on the road. Okay, she was standing on a little high hump on the plateau. Her white breast thrust forward. Now, I have often heard people describe the bird's breast as a burnished breast because that chest portion comes sort of swells outside and looks very polished. That is why they call it the burnished breast of the pigeon or whatever bird they're talking about. Now and again, she tore at a piece of fish that lay at her feet and then scraped each side of her beak on the rock. Why do birds do that? Remember that beak is a weapon. That beak is a tool. If it is sharp, it makes for a good weapon to kill prey with or to catch prey with. But if it's not sharp, it is of no use. The prey will slip out. Okay? And so they need to sharpen it. The sight of the food maddened him. How he loved to tear food that way, scraping his beak now and again to wet it. Now he has had experience. Why? Because his parents had brought him food before. And he had torn that food, and he had gulped that food, and he had scrapped his beak, the left side and on the right side, to keep it sharpened. Wet means to sharpen. And here comes the ga 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 and the gokola, which is what I made you listen to. She screamed back derisively or derisively. What does it mean? It means that you are showing that you are disappointed in that person. You don't think that person is of any good. But he kept calling plaintively, sadly. Plaintive is the meaning of the word plaintive is sad. So sadly, like a forlorn creature, he kept calling, asking for pity. But sometimes pity is not what people need. What people need is a boost. And after a minute or so, he uttered a joyful scream. His mother had picked up a piece of the fish and was flying across to him with it. She could only be meaning to come to him and give him his food. He leaned out eagerly, tapping the rock with his feet in his excitement, trying to get nearer to her as she flew across. But when she was just opposite to him, she halted. She hovered in midair. She hovered just out of reach, her wings motionless. She is, I wouldn't say hover because hovering, yeah, you can hover that way too. Modda kotha hochchhe she is riding the wind. The piece of fish in her beak, almost within reach of his beak. He waited a moment in surprise, wondering why she did not come nearer. And then the hunger was so much. When remember your hunger. Remember when you are very hungry. At times when you are not hungry, you're given food. It's like eta khabo na, ota bhalo lage na, this that. But when you are really, really hungry, you don't care what the food is. Yeah, like give it to me. I don't care if it's part of the bed, okay, the wooden bed or the wrought iron bed. I'm going to eat it. So, maddened by hunger, what did he do? He took that leap of faith. He dived. With a loud scream, he fell. He was terrified. Why? Because he was going outwards towards the sea and he was falling downwards. Then a monstrous terror seized him and his heart stood still. He could hear nothing, but it only lasted a minute. Only a minute? 1 মিনিট ধরে তুই যদি কোথাও থেকে পড়িস তাহলে পরে তো তোকে আর পড়ে মরতে হবে না, তো মাঝখানে রাস্তায় হার্ট অ্যাটাক হয়ে মরে যাবি। 1 minute you are falling, pulled by gravity. Can you imagine? The next moment he felt his wings spread outwards. Instinct took over. The wind rushed against his breast feathers, then under his stomach and against his wings. He could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air. Yeah, falling from the top of Burj Khalifa 80. He was not falling headlong now. He was soaring gradually downwards and outwards. So now he was still going outwards and downwards, but he seemed to be in control. Something had happened. He was not falling without control. He was no longer afraid. He just felt a bit dizzy. Then he flapped his wings once and he soared upwards. And then obviously there is that thing that I made you listen to. His mother swooped past him, her wings making a loud noise. He answered her with another scream. Then his father flew over him screaming. He saw his 2 brothers and his sister flying around him, curveting, banking, soaring, diving. What is the meaning of curveting? Curveting means just leap upwards. What is the meaning of banking? Banking is in aircrafts when you see that they tip one of their wings downwards and whichever wing goes downwards, that side the aircraft will turn. So if you bank left, your aircraft is going to go left. If you bank right, your aircraft is going to go right. And soaring is going upwards and upwards and upwards. And then diving, which means you make a nosedive. So head first, you go downwards. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly and commended himself to dive and soar and curve, shrieking shrilly. The word shrill is already shrill. The word shriek means to produce a noise which is shrill. He was near the sea now, so obviously they are not jutting out of the sea. They are inland, and then from there he is moving towards the sea, flying straight over it, facing straight out over the ocean. He saw a vast green sea beneath him with little ridges. What are these little ridges? These little ridges are waves. But the waves in an ocean are big. Why are they being called little ridges? He is looking at the sea from a very great distance. That's why. Moving over it, and he turned his beak sideways and cawed amusedly. His parents and his brothers and sister had landed on this green flooring ahead of him. To him, it's a floor, right? He sees everything is green. Have you never heard of something called algae? Algae. So it's because of that that the sea looks green. And to him, it looks like a floor. It's like, oh, it kind of bosses it at the floor. And he obviously wants to do the same thing. Why? Because he's tired now. His first flight, it has taken a lot out of him. He is tired. They were beckoning to him, calling him, beckoning meaning calling shrilly. He dropped his legs to stand on the green sea. His legs sank into it to stand. Now, he didn't expect that. He dropped his legs thinking that, oh, it's going to be like the ledge. But his legs went inside the sea and he was terrified. He screamed with fright and attempted to rise again, flapping his wings. But he was tired and weak with hunger and he could not rise. Exhausted by the strange exercise. If he had not been exhausted, do you think he would have ever allowed himself to sit on the sea and find out that he can float? He would not. So it's a good thing that he was tired. His feet sank into the green sea. Then his belly touched it and he sank no further because seagull bodies are designed in such a way that they displace more water, and when that happens, the buoyancy increases. He was floating on it. And around him, his family was screaming, praising him, and their beaks were offering him scraps of dogfish. He had made his first flight. Same thing will apply to you when you're going out of college, you're going for your first job, you're going for your first marriage, you're going for probably your only marriage. You're going for anything that is first. The thing is, when you try to do that, you'll be afraid. You won't want to do it. But then you would take that leap of faith and you will find out that it's easy after all. And you would have mastered it. And your parents would be all around you screaming and praising, and they will all offer you dogfish.
If you want a video on a particular topic, let us know in the comment section below. And kindly visit our website raretutorial.com to know more. Thank you for watching the video. For more such educational content, please like, share and subscribe to our channel.